Then by the time I graduated with my bachelor's degree, it was COVID. And I did not want to go and get an adult job. So I was working with one of the professors at Coastal. She's retired now. But Dr. Breed in the communication program was like, hey, why don't you apply for our master's degree? Just for fun, if you get in, great. If you don't, whatever. But she was the graduate coordinator at that time for the program. And she was like, I mean, you're going to get in because one, like I'm not supposed to have any say on the applications, right? But she was like, you're such a good student, you know, we're trying to build this program, like you're probably going to get in more often than not. Like most likely you'll get in. Long story short, I got in. I just, pursued a master's in communication with a focus in leadership communication. Um, and what's really cool is I was actually one of the first graduate teaching assistants that the communication program ever had. So they were kind of piloting the program with me and one of my other colleagues, which was kind of cool at the time.
Very cool. Always cool to be that trailblazer, to be that first person to do something. Love that. All right. So what are you doing now?
Um, Now I have since graduated. I graduated with my master's degree in 2022. But now I'm working at Coastal as an academic advisor for the CMC College of Health and Human Performance. So I am working with any student from freshman to senior year that is majoring in exercise and sport science, nursing, health science, not exercise science, I already said that one, recreation and sport management, anything that's under that CMC umbrella. Um, so that is what I'm doing now. I'm currently on maternity leave because I just had my little baby, Levi, right here. Um, so currently on maternity leave, but going back in April, I'm really excited. Had a lot of really good, built a lot of good relationships with a lot of my students, and I'm very excited to get back to working with them.
Love that. Love that. Love that Levi showed up for our meeting too. Uh,
Yeah,
he's the first baby I've had on so far. I have more later today, but
that's
always
exciting.
good. It is good. All right. So you're under that CMC umbrella. What advice? Because we got a lot of people who are like, I'm getting in the medical field.
Mhm.
What advice would you give those high school students who are dead set on doing medical stuff?
Yeah, so definitely look at your options major wise because now we're getting to the point where every kind of medical anything is requiring a master's degree besides nursing, but most nursing positions want you to have your BSN. So make sure you're looking into graduate schools. Just because I know Coastal is not like a big name school, right? But where you get your bachelor's degree does not matter. It as long as you are getting the grades, you are involved, and you're showing that you have an interest and that you're good at what you do. It doesn't matter where you get your undergrad degree. Make where you get your master's degree and like for my students that want to be a physical therapist, you now have to get a doctorate in physical therapy in order to be a physical therapist. Um, that is a lot of schooling. That's another 8 years of schooling on top of the 4 years that you're doing at a four-year institution generally. Athletic training, you have to have a master's degree now. Occupational therapy, you have to have a master's degree. Obviously, with med school, you have to go through the whole thing of med school. PA school, I think you have to get a master's degree as well. So just make sure you're looking at graduate programs. You're going to want to focus more on the long run than what you're doing next. Because if your goal is to go to PA school, well, that's great, fine, and dandy. I can tell you of my 300 students that I advise, over half of them want to go to PA school. It's very competitive. You're going to need to be involved in as many clubs and organizations as you can be on campus whenever you do go to a four-year institution. And for most of you guys, that's only 2 years. You're going to have to really push, and I'm not saying spread yourself thin and let your academics suffer, but you're going to want to use your free time to be involved in clubs and organizations. You're going to want to make sure you're having as many job shadowing, volunteer, interning hours as possible. So if that's something you want to do, go ahead and get those connections with places that we have here. We have the Conway Medical Center Hospital. There are physical therapy centers all over the place, chiropractic offices all over the place. Go ahead and build those connections now, because most of these schools want you to have over 1,000 hours of patient contact hours, which means that just volunteering and job shadowing is not enough. That means that you need to go and be involved with a patient. So whether that's getting your CNA license, becoming a lab tech, or something like that, it's really competitive. Every other student that I talk to wants to be a PA, PT, or OT. And I can say the same for my colleagues. So that's what you want to do. That's great. You can do it. You just have to make yourself marketable.
Love it. Absolutely love it, Sydney. I think that's a good place for us to kind of wrap up.
Okay,
If you'll hang on the line just a second afterward,
sure.
sure we're good. But Sydney, Suddreth, Barnhill, and Levi, thank you for joining us in this episode. Always good to see you.
Great. Thank you.